travelers, wanderers, star seeds, and everyone. Welcome back to the Astral Tourist Podcast, and a welcome for all the new folks as well. The channel is growing. Yay! So this is your go-to space for the strange, the spiritual, and the beautifully unexplainable. If you've ever found yourself slipping between timelines, catching glimpses of other realities, or just wondering what the heck is going on, when you feel something shift, you can kind of feel it there, but you don't know why. Yeah, this is the place to be. And today's journey that I'll be sharing is perhaps one of the most subtle, yet surreal ones I've ever had. Things get really trippy when you're jet lagged and turning, your body clock inside out with various flights and travel and stuff. So this one starts in a completely ordinary way. No crystals, no breathwork, no special cosmic download from my angels or guides. Just me, jet lagged, dehydrated, just a little. I was pretty good about hydration, but in a plane, and for flights and everything, yeah, you're going to be dehydrated anyway. And accidentally tuning into a version of Earth 400 million years old. Usually it's so hard to go to the past. Oh my goodness, it takes so much energy. But yeah, I had a past astral projection. So let's slip into it. Let's slip and slide over to the past. So I want to get started with how it happened. So for those just tuning in, I've been traveling for over 2 weeks. I went to Australia. I live in the U.S. It takes 4 flights to get where we were going and 4 flights back. So this is me back and loopy and tired and jet lagged. But I want to make sure to get all my experiences down, even as an experienced astral projector, because it's habit. It's good to keep that habit. And you can retain more and more and more the more you do that. You rehearse the details in your mind, you share them, and recall is a big deal. Although many people astral project and they just can't remember it. And so I've been using this recall method for many years. I make these bookmarks in my mind. I go into detail in other ones about all that. But anyway, I'm just, continuing the process. So for this episode, I was in a hotel room in Vermont. We finally made it as far as Vermont and decided to take a break before continuing on to New York. So we're in a hotel room in Vermont, my life partner and I. And I was thinking about the Bennington area again as I was laying there in bed, unable to move or do very much because I was so tired. And I thought, maybe I could slip over there and see what's happening in the Bennington area. But that didn't happen. And I wasn't really making a firm intention to astral project. When I'm that tired, I know it's best to rest. And that's what I recommend others do when they're tired. Sometimes astral projection can take a lot of energy. So when I'm then tired, I just make the intention to remember if I autonomously astral project. Remember to remember to remember to remember. I will layer those memory in like a mantra encoding in my head. Different ways. Sometimes I'll add colors and feelings to the words of memory. There are all kinds of little hacks like that you can do. So I was just, in a basic way, though, this time telling myself, remember to remember, to remember to remember, to remember to remember. People ask me what my particular method is all the time. And so that's why I'm adding in all these little extra details for those who are listening and want to know, why am I able to astral project so much and remember so much? It's because I rehearse these things over and over and over and over again. But I mix it up. I don't keep it like a bad recording that's like just one thing. I mix it up. So As far as my experience last night, here's what might have started it. I've been like pondering what started this. So on my first of 4 flights from Australia to the United States, I was jammed into a window seat, which normally would be a good thing for me, but this time it wasn't. My elbows were tucked in, my knees were folded, and I'm a short lady, so, economy, economy class, body compressed like carry-on luggage a bit. And the woman next to me was very clearly stressed, and you know how empathic I can be. So, I've already done a lot of work with boundaries and energy work to, help offset all of that. But she was beyond troubled. Oh my gosh. I felt so bad for her. But then I started to become irate because I was already like really tired. Now remember, I have travel exhaustion from traveling so much already. And so she begins talking about how planes never have enough arm space. She's looking at me like it's my fault for existing at all and having arms. I'm like, And, I can be a very strong person, a strong personality. And the tone just made me feel like, I was the problem just for existing. And, remember, I was very exhausted. So, like, this part of me in my head kind of wanted to snap and just like, hey, would you like me to dissolve into vapor, lady? I could have said something nasty like that, but I didn't. Even tired, I just held that in. I was like, oh, no. This is not who I am. I do not react like this. So this is all my meditative training and emotional training and all of that. Controlling that empathic side and not letting it go to overload is the big tip for empaths. Never let it go too far. I always catch stuff like that early. So I looked at her and I said, hey, I'm very zen. You can tuck your arm on in there. It's okay. Like I was basically telling her it's okay to touch me and squeeze her arm in where she needed to. And this is a very large lady, and I'm not skinny myself at all. Menopause and everything and weight gain. And so with the two of us there, we were pretty squashed, I gotta say. So she was still a bit irate, but she wasn't like super directing it at me. But she did she was looking at my arms. She was like fiddling with the armrests. I did not point out to her that she was also on the larger side, I figured that would make it worse. And, she's really beautiful too, actually. But, I was just trying to deflate the situation. Like, hey, I'm very zen, just so you know, I'm a chill person. You can tuck your arm in there. If she had pushed the armrest too far or something and had started like actually making me hurt, I would have definitely spoken up and put some more boundaries up there. But she was just an overwhelm, and here I was, not overwhelmed, but super tired. And so I chose a specific chant on purpose because of all of this arm talk. Now, people who are into the matrix theory and stuff, maybe this part of it's for you. I chose AD specifically because he has so many arms. So this is me kind of like hacking the matrix a little bit here, trying to make things a little bit better even while exhausted. And so I chose the mantra Om Namah Shiva Namah Shakti Nama Om. And the reason I included the Shakti instead of just doing pure Shiva is for the balance. You want this balance going on, the male and female energies, and balance is always really good, being on a plane. So I sound like I'm tripping out because I am. Remember, I'm still jet lagged. So I was doing Om Namah Shiva, Namah Shakti, Nama Om. Only to myself, of course. And I began to think about it as a kind of protective barrier in my aura, and also, a practice for everyone everywhere in the world. So you have this practice that can be very protective. Shiva is also a protective deity. But also you want to share the good vibes with everyone without the overwhelm. And so we have the Shiva and the Shakti, and those frequencies are going back and forth. And they can intermix once you really get going with it a little bit, and you get really good at this mantra. And it's pure bliss when you really get like multiple layers of the mantra running in your energy body, not just your mind, your energy body. You can work this mantra all through your energy body. So it's not just words. It's in your mind. It's in your energy body. You can add the intention like I did as far as using it as a part of an auric protection, a shield, but also sharing it as a healing with the entire world. It gets kind of tricky and all of that, but I've used this mantra before. And so, it's like, think of it like a patchwork, I guess, a patchwork kind of thing I put together last minute. But since I have the experience from having done the energy work before, things just started to flow into place naturally. So, I was just trying to soothe the tension in that cramped space. That's the one that came to mind. There were stressors going on with her so much. And when the flight ended, she stood up, and I noticed bruises and scratches all over her arms and body. And I got it even more than I already was getting it empathically before. She was being a little bit rude, yeah, but she was in some serious pain and chronic, long-term kind of some situation I was picking up on with her that I did not tune into on purpose, because already, I had to have enough energy to come home and to be healthy myself. So I did not tune in further, but I was really grateful that I did not add to that energy. And so here's a big tip. This is a tip for astral projection and here in the physical world. And it's something everybody can do if they want to. Right here, right now, no incense required. When you feel that tension creeping in, get it early. You don't have to wait for the whole day to fall apart. Hear these people having entire bad days. You can get right in there in the beginning and shift that day before it does that. So you can do something like using a mantra like I did, a favorite song, a deep breath, or change your breathing pattern. This is, one of the big tricks I use here. People are like, how are you working the matrix like this? I'm like, I just keep shifting things. I shift mantras. I'll shift my breathing pattern. I'll shift whatever I'm thinking about and do something, entirely else, perhaps, if nothing else is working. So that's one of my tips and tricks. And, it's like just, you shift it. But by doing that, you're like giving that moment in the universe to like turn around. And by doing something unexpected and not just reacting, that makes a big difference. It makes so much difference. So of course, being as tired as I was, I did not get into that mantra like I really kind of wished I could have at the time. I was just, existing on a plane all squished up, doing what I could at the moment, already super tired. So next comes the really long flight. So the overseas one. And it really made me wonder if I was getting instant karma like right back in my face. because I ended up having the whole row to myself for the longer flights. It's still economy class, but I had room to stretch my legs out more, move around more. I tried to lay down, but that didn't really work. I tried to do an astral projection to pop on out to the wing. That did not work. I did remain mind aware, body asleep, because I thought only a few moments had passed, or maybe minutes. But when I looked at the time again, it was like over an hour had passed. So I believe my body did sleep for a little while. I did not exit, but my mind was awake and my astral body was there, aware of everything. I just didn't go. So that's okay. Was it instant karma? I don't know. I never will know. And that has to be fine. So moving on, the rest of the flights were just okay, nothing really to report. My traveling partner and I, my life partner right now, decided to get a hotel in Vermont when we got to Vermont because we were too tired to continue. It's this one that we've only been to one other time. It's been fine. It's an older building. Sometimes I sense a few spirits around, but nothing really to worry about. Just the usual stuff with an older place. So I remember looking out the window as I was laying in bed at the trees out there. I remember looking out, but I made no intention to astral project again. This was after 3 flights or 4 flights. That was the 4th flight. And, I was so tired, and I remember looking out the window. I remember thinking about my target location, my usual one back here at home. But I made no intention to astral project at all. I thought I was going to sleep. And I popped out. I did just automatically. Only when I was out there, it was not the real time zone. It was definitely the past. And it took me a few moments, I should say, to get oriented. I just kind of phased out there. And it was so automatic, which is like when I'm at home. Only I phase out at home into the real time zone or a space close to it unless I make an intention to go to the future. So in this case, I had just been gazing out the window, and I automatically just popped out there, only it was in the past. There were these giant ferns. They had this lovely, pinkish, reddish, purple tone, like a haze around them. And inside was deep greens. They were gigantic. And I immediately felt like I was in a prehistoric period. So my primal instincts were kicking in and on. And I was looking for dinosaurs and stuff. But there was nothing else. Just these ferns. Massive ferns, at least 10 feet high. There was a shimmering gold coming through what I want to say was a jungle, but I'm not sure because I don't remember distinct trees. So that was another part of the mystery there. I'm in the past, but where are the trees? And I'm just seeing these gigantic ferns, and so I decided to heighten my senses on purpose. I like to just see if I had to be careful about dinosaurs. I've only been to the past a few times, really, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to bother anything, or if there was something interesting to go see, I would go see it. I didn't know how long I had. In the past, time is really weird, and I usually get less time, so I wanted to be really quick. Really quick and do what I could really fast, But there was nothing else to see with the ferns for me, and they were amazing in and of themselves. And also I was trying to tune into anything, even bugs. Like after a while, I was like, are there not even any bugs? So I was listening or looking around for bugs, but nothing. No bugs, no sounds. Um, Again, with the trees, I felt like there should be trees, but I don't remember actually seeing any trees. And the light was fairly dim, but I had the feeling of like late morning, early afternoon, but more like late morning, like maybe 11 a.m. if I had to guess a time. So I just decided to enjoy it. And, I flew around a little bit, but I didn't have a whole panoramic kind of view. The spaces I did go I went in kind of like this arch kind of a shape, and up a little bit, but I didn't want to like push things too much because I figured this is really, miraculous, sudden prehistoric here. So, I know it sounds like I'm just going on and on because I am verbally, but energetically, the place was incredible and so quiet. I mean, not just like when you listen with your ears, quiet telepathically. The plants were not talking to me with like some weird coded language or anything. I did not see any fairies taking care of the plants. Nothing. Just the greenery, just the ferns, and the way the light was. So I did come back before too long. I don't know how long, 5-10 minutes at the most. And while I was there, it felt like less. It felt like, I don't know. I'm not sure. 4 or 5 minutes, I guess. Anyway, just the feeling of it was incredible. The peace, the lack of sound, and I don't want to say vibration because there was this prehistoric vibration there, but it was very even keel. I'm not sure how else to describe that. So of course I did a little bit of research, and it turns out Vermont's geological base is in the Devonian period. That's over 400 million years old. So from what I read online, take of it whatever you will. Back then, the land that I was near sat near the equator, warm, humid, and brimming with early plant life. From what I read, I don't know who calls it this, but I was reading they call it the age of fishes, but on land it was the dawning age of the trees. Again, I don't remember seeing trees, but I do remember seeing, like in the distance, something rising up massively, and I guess that could have been trees, but I don't know, maybe it was more giant ferns or some abstraction of the ferns in the astral plane. There were no animals. I don't remember seeing flowers or flowering ferns, just the greenery, and no grass, no moss. So from what I was able to find out, it fits with that era, the Devonian era. Towering, unfamiliar foliage, no animal life to speak of that I was able to observe anyway, where I was. Thick green atmosphere, a strange reddish, violet, pinkish aura on the plants, like light caught between layers of reality, but of course it did not feel like a dream. I was there. Prehistoric. So in a way, I guess it was like stepping into Earth's forgotten memory, only not a memory because it was so real. I'm not sure what to make of it still. Like maybe is that what happens when you do the Shiva Shakti mantra and then go around the world and just pop out of your body? I mean, maybe that's how you end up there. Maybe that's how you hack the matrix to get to the Devonian era unintentionally. I don't know. Oh my gosh. So, the universal vibration, Shiva, stillness, awareness. Not necessarily with movement, but you can. And Shakti, energy, creation and form. The full circle, the return, the balance. So it's more like a soft override of the matrix, I suppose, only I didn't do it on purpose. A little hidden line of code I accidentally possibly discovered there, opening a back door into deep time. Not flashy, not totally mythic, just a quiet, a little escape or doorway or something into something ancient. I don't know for sure that the mantra actually caused it, but I wonder if maybe it tuned me into just the right frequency somehow. That I just kind of, my energy body responded to it. So that I can only guess as to that. So there's no big message, no entity. The story is just how it happened. It was just really special, a really special place. So if you ever had any experience like this, a dream that felt older than time, a mantra that showed you something interesting and unexpected, or a moment where reality just kind of bent slightly, I'd love to hear about it. Also, please make requests now that I'm back home for things you would like me to share about here on the channel about astral projection and consciousness, and whatever else. Just, go ahead and let me know. If you enjoyed the journey, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. It helps others find the information too. For those that don't know, that are tuning in, I report the information, and then I report what I think about it, of course, and how I feel about it from my own perspective. And I do realize others have other experiences, and I honor those. So, I just want to get the information out there, whatever the results may ultimately be, years and years beyond, whatever we can do here now. So thanks so much for tuning in. Let's keep this little multi-dimensional road trip going. Until next time, stay curious, be kind, keep on traveling the stars with love. I'm being really hippie-ish now, but that's okay. Lots of love to everyone out there. Thanks so much again for tuning in. Let me know which direction or directions you would like for my channel to go. Thanks so much, and maybe I'll see you on the astral plane.